back to the spreadsheet, in the form, you click on spreadsheet. See form, spreadsheet? Form, spreadsheet. And if you forget which one it is, just think opposite. If I'm in the spreadsheet, I'm looking for the form. And if I'm in the form, I'm looking for the... Okay, so that's about it.
And if you are in your Google Docs list, and you've made like 8 different forms, you click on it and it's going to take you to the spreadsheet. And then from there you just get to the form like John showed.
So that's where form 0 becomes important because you'll go back to live form. It is sort of intuitive once you see the pattern.
Yeah. And you just have to keep going in and clicking to find out what's there.
Right. Okay, we're almost done with this part. You can, and more Mystic Portalness here. If you're in the spreadsheet, you can click Show Summary. And that's where it automatically charts everything. If it's a text-based answer, it will give you a short blurb of the top 10 responses. It won't use up all of it on one. You'll see, I like this class because, this is a cool class because, you'll get a little preview of what's going on.
Now you say top 10, first 10, right?
Ish.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
first bunch, depending on how much. But not like the most frequent thing.
But you can also go, in the form, you can just go see responses and go summary. There's no right answer. Either one's fine. As long as you're getting what you want, you win.
You guys are, we're just...
You guys are power users now, so this is just life in the big city.
And Hulu says enable autocomplete, so you can.
It's true.
Just automatically check. Figuring out the right.
I hope so. We've looked at a couple of the pie charts. This is just an example of what we're going to get for charts. Now we're going to move into something more exciting.
You're just going to really show.
This is just a drive-by.
Yeah.
Flubaroo allows you to auto-correct. This is the thing I was referring to. I had 435 kids take a 20-question test, and I corrected it in 4 minutes. And I knew that the margin of error on each question, it broke the whole thing down.
Did you hear the room go?
Yes.
Like, I started to hear parts.
Now, a few minutes ago, remember I threw Scantron under the table because we got raw scores. We then learned that Google Forms will make charts. So now, for free, without paper, we can get raw scores, charts, and it'll even email the kid their score.
Shut the front door.
That'll stop everything. Now, this isn't hard. This next segment, it's not hard, but just in the interest of time, what I would like to do with this is don't worry about being able to do it. Let's flip through these, and if you guys think you want to take a shot as a group, we can try. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So for right now, like the Harvard professor, right now I won't pass it assimilation.
Screen.
We're going to de-screen for a second. It's not hard, but you got to watch what happens.
By the way, if you figure this out later, you'll be so proud.
So we're at a new forms then.
Well, you can say it. You don't have to close out. We're just not actively working. And I'm going to start with, here's a little video they made, but we're not going to watch the video. Remember that these presentations are available over there on the computer box, anywhere on the internet, so you can go back and work through it yourselves later. Okay? It's way easier than the instructions for your weed eater or your sewing machine. Way
Or you
easier.
could just Google Flubaroo tutorial.
And this tutorial is right there. So I'm not going to, I had it there in case we needed it, but I'm going to skip it because I think the instructions are actually more lucid. So basically, you want to go and insert a script. So in your spreadsheet, don't try to do this now because you'll lose it. Don't try to do this. I want to show you the whole thing, and then if we want to try it, that's okay. But under Insert, in Spreadsheet, you can insert a script. All you have to do is search for Flubaroo. Don't do it now. We're just going to get the whole thing in. And when you search Flubaroo, guess what comes up? Flubaroo. Guess what you pick? Install. Okay. See, something new has appeared. We already know these two guys, right?
Yeah.
New thing. New thing appears. So you have put a math script on this one spreadsheet. It's not on everything you do in spreadsheet. It's on this one. It's a case-by-case basis. You're not adding software. It's just a script. And so what you do is, if you click on Flubaroo right here, you get this, grade assignment. I don't think you guys need training for that part. We're good. All right. The first time it pops up, it's going to say, authorization is required. What should you answer?
Yes.
Yes. And that's okay to do this because I went looking for this. If things pop up, I sometimes say no. So this is what you get right here. The instructions are built in. If you'll read them, you'll live. It knows that I had a 3-question quiz. I can assign different point values for different questions at this time. So number 1 could be 1 point, number 2 could be 5, number 3 could be 10. And all it is it's just a pop-up window. Then, this is the tricky part for people to get at first. It took me an hour to figure this out. Here's how it works. When you make your quiz, you take the quiz.
Yeah, that part was hard.
That threw me for a
Well,
loop or
if you don't
dooper.
know the answers, it will be hard. So take the quiz, you know the answers.
Yeah, that helps too. I was hoping that went without saying. You did definitely need to know the answers. You need to take the quiz. This is where a TA might come in handy. And what you do is, there are several. I took the quiz 4 times. You can pick. I'm picking the key right now. When I check that first bubble, that's the key. That's what Flubaroo is going to compare. It's doing an if-then statement based on that first one. It'll give them all to you. If there were 30 there, I could pick number 5 to be the key. But if I pick number 1, that's the key. And then I hit View Grades. Did I slide? Okay. Then I hit View Grades. Is this seeming very scary so far? Good. But do you see why I want you to see the totality of it before we give it a try? So you go View Grades. Then this is what it gives you for results. Points possible, average point, counted submissions, low scoring submissions, submission time, percents, time submitted. It's going to break down the score question by question. That's a pretty powerful tool. And especially if your pre-service teachers have that. That's awesome. I'm going to throw out one more thing. You guys, I am not the smartest person in my class. And I'm okay with that. Kevin is currently teaching himself at least Photoshop and Adobe After Effects. You know why? I was fortunate that our school was able to buy it. I haven't had time to learn it. So I said, get on YouTube and get some tutorials and go get them. So you can do the same thing with your kids. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting my metaphorical pipe out there. I would like you guys to do an assignment on Flubaroo. Have a report ready by Friday on how that worked. Your direct instruction is over. You figure out Flubaroo. You don't have to know how it works. And in the long run, you're going to teach this class again next year, right? So those exit conversations are where you learn how to do Flubaroo. But it's doable enough that you can learn it yourself too. Now, the other one that happens with this, remember the Mystic Portal? Where are my stats? Where are my scores? Right? This happens with Flubaroo too, because this window right here, these are the scores. But what happens is you got to look at the bottom. There's now a new tab. Where are the individual scores? Flubaroo will put you in the grade pocket. You know in Excel how you have sheets? At the bottom you have a new sheet called Student Submissions and an old sheet called Grades. So when you click on Grades, you see that one. And when you click on Student Submissions, you see their actual work. Does that make sense? Because that threw me for a loop too. I got it all working. I was like, okay, that's cool. Where are the kids' work? So you just got to look around and it's in the tabs there. Other neat options on Flubaroo. Once you have a graded quiz, check this out. Has this ever happened? Number 14 is B. No, it's not. It's A. The manufacturer had the wrong answer and some kid in the 3rd row figured it out. What do we do with that? A lot of times in real life, I just say, don't count number 10. Right? With Flubaroo, I regrade. How long does it take? 14 seconds.
Yeah, I'm thinking less than a minute.
Very, very quickly. Another neat option, email grades. Once I know everybody's grade is cool, congratulations. On the quarterly assessment, you scored a B+. and then view report, which is very analogous to the summary in form. May the forms be with you. Smell of Star Wars fun. Now, we had talked about flipped classrooms a little bit earlier. I want you guys to just, I'm not going to give you any head start on this. I want you to think for a second, how could Google Forms affect a classroom that is trying to be flipped? If you can get a classroom culture where the kids will watch the 4-minute video and create a culture where they'll actually respond, and what's great is they can take this on their smartphone. So the whole I don't have the internet thing is a much smaller group of people now. Check with your kids. And this is what we did. We did a scientific test in Selma, California. How many of you have the internet? About half of the kids have the internet. So then we did this. How many of you have Facebook? Everybody.
Oh, everybody.
So you go, whoa! You just said you don't have the internet. He goes, I know, my sister's always on the laptop. So to him, don't have the internet was physical possession of the laptop. This one said, oh, I go to the library. This one said, I go to grandma's house. I don't have the internet, but grandma does. And now kids are saying, well, my phone has it. So if you have a scenario where you say, I need you to watch a 4-minute video and do these 3 quick questions, or answers, or a summary, you start the class. You have pre-screened the class. But I would say the struggle is it's so hard to get kids to work at that level independently. I just contain the flipping to my class. When they walk in, 4-minute video, 4 minutes to respond. Google Forms forces them through that filter, right? You got 4 minutes. Is it in? Yes. Bang. So if I can invest 8 or 10 minutes in my class, I can flip in my class. Because no matter how good of a lecturer I am, the right video is typically 4 to 6 minutes. That's a 45-minute lecture that's been compressed, it's been checked, it's popular, people like it. As opposed to speaking extemporaneously about the Visigoths and going on about early Transylvanian culture. I can get that in 4 minutes. And I had an event like that. I had a United Streaming account. How many people can tell me a lot about the Etruscans? I believe everybody in here has their masters, right?
Not history. Those two in the
Not history. But you've all been through school, right? So here I am teaching 6th grade, and I look 4 pages ahead in the history book. Etruscans. I'm a history guy. I'm like, what the hell are the Etruscans?
They were early people.
Yeah, they were the precursors of the Romans, okay? Well, I just went on to Discovery Streaming, and I brought up a 5-minute clip. Peter Coyote's the narrator.
Right.
I'm pretty good, but I am not Peter Coyote. Too silly. And they're the Etruscans. 5 minutes. You know what happened 3 weeks later when we flipped the 6th graders? There are no Etruscan movies. There's no equivalent of Gladiator for the Etruscans, right? And they're like, Grippo, Etruscans. And I realized, wow, that's pretty cool. So I didn't have to do a lecture. I didn't have to, you guys, the Etruscans really are important. Stop making, this is really, I didn't have to do that because I front-loaded them with Peter Coyote. I invested 5 minutes the week before we got there and we hit the gas. So can we do that with Pythagorean theorem? Can we do that with other things? How about the Common Craft video? If Diane and I had talked for an hour, could we have been that effective in 5 minutes? Because they have the animations, it's practiced, it's timed, they know what they want to do, they got the visuals. So that's where Google Forms for me is a basis for a flipped classroom. Because whether you're flipping in class or not, that's your summary and your quick feedback.
Quick little throw in there on flipped classrooms. What John's describing is a lot of what Ramsey Masalam does over in San Francisco. And he actually has the students, just like John talked about, watch the video at home, or 5 minutes before class, they're in the hallway on their phone, watch the video and fill in the form, because you can fill in the form on your phone. And then it might be helpful for you to know, because Alice, you had mentioned getting out to San Francisco to see Ramsey. He's going to be in Modesto 2 weeks from tomorrow at CTAP 6 ETC.
And what's his URL? Flipclass.com, is that
Yeah, flipclass.com, I think. You know what, let me check.
Yeah.
I'll tweet him over there.
And
I think
Ramsey's
we all want to go to San Francisco.
Ramsey's going to be at the Rockstar camp for 3 days too.
Oh, is he?
But yeah, so.
And he is the best flipper I've seen yet. He's super, he goes into great detail about the brain, the effect of the learning on the brain, the pacing, the timing, time away from the lesson. He's very, very
Especially
clinical.
interested in cognitive load. and how we can eliminate some of the extraneous stuff when we're doing this, and the flipped concept.
So it's a very lean, constructivist, feedback-based, and he teaches inner-city kids in San Francisco, so he's not at some like elite school in Santa Barbara. He's working with a tough audience and doing really, really good quality stuff. Yeah.
So,
Actually, Jay's made the original contact, and we just haven't had the time to get up there and go to the next step. But we saw him at the CLS conference.
He's ridiculously good.
he's a great guy too. Coming over here. We are skipping search, dude, because there's
That's
just no
okay.
time. But there's fun things, and we'll be glad to tell you about them later, just not right now.